Hello everyone, welcome to Quick and Easy Tech. We're gonna talk about today about the SQL Server integration services. So we're gonna have part 14, how to not load existing files in a SQL Server table and load only the new files. And after that, load the new files, the name of the new files to the SQL Server table. And also we're gonna move the new files, the one it's been loaded, we're gonna move it after we load it to the SQL Server table. We're gonna move it to the archive folder. So let's say I have multiple files here. I have text files, I have Excel files, and I have CSV files here. I want to load all these files. This is new files. I don't have the existing files. Let's say I already loaded the agent or the employee or any one of them, and after I want to load them back again, I don't want to load the existing file. I want to load the new file. Let's say the agent is already loaded. I want to load only those files, not loaded. I wanted to ignore the one is already loaded. So how can I do that? Let's go back to SQL Server. And then let's say I have a table here. I create a table, I have a ID, first name, last name, and a state. If you go back to folders and then just click on one of them, I have 4 columns: ID, first name, last name, and a state. And the same way with the Excel file, if you double click on it, ID, first name, last name, and a state. So I want to load the new data with the new file, and the existing file I don't want to have them. I don't want to load them, and also I want to move the file from the existing folder to a different folder. I'm going to move it to a different folder. I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to create an archive folder. How can I do that? So first of all, how we need to build some kind of expression. We're going to declare some kind of variable. We need to build some kind of expression, and that expression we're going to create a table first. This table we're going to save the file names. Any file going load and going to the SQL Server table. After that, we want to have the file name and extension to be saved and inserted inside the file names. We're gonna build expressions based on the file name. Let's just create another table. This table is gonna be for the file names. I set the ID integer, identity, the seed, and 1, and the increment by 1, the file name varchar string 9 Unicode 100 length. Create a table. I created, just selected, select all from this table. I call this table existing files. Selected, select all from existing files. Let's just refresh, click on edit, title, sense, and then local refresh local cache. So selected, I have ID. This is gonna be identity, so this is gonna be automatic input here. I have the ID by 1, is gonna start from 1, and then the increment will be 1 2 3 4 5. So I need to insert the file names inside this table, these columns, and then after I'm gonna build this expression. If the file existed here, I'm not gonna load it. I'm gonna move it to rejected folder or already loaded folders, and I'm gonna move the file also. So let's start. Okay, so now let's go back to Visual Studio, and then we have to create a new table, new package. Create a new package. So in order to build that expression, we need to have execute SQL task. Execute SQL task is going to help us to find out if the file is going to help us to build the expression. So how going to build the expression? Back to a SQL Server table. Now we're going to declare a variable. So we are interested in file name now. We're going to declare a variable. We're gonna call it a file name. This is gonna be a variable. File name. and then the data data type will be varchar. It's going to be 100 also for the length, and then we're going to set what we're going to set. We're going to set the variable that we just created is going to be equal to what? Equal to the names. We're gonna get the names. I don't want to hard code it now, but just for the test right now, let's just copy any of the file name here, back again. So I need to have a single quote because this is a SQL server. If you are on SSIS, you need to have a double quote. So single quote, paste it, single quote. I'm gonna set the file name, the new variable just created, equal to this name, and then if the file name match the name of the file, if exist, what do I have to do? Open parentheses. I want to select number one. One is going to be the file is already matched and existed. Select one from where? From this file, because the name of this file, the name of each files will save to this table, to this column. This column belongs to this table, the name of the table. So I'm just gonna have a DBO. That's for the schema. So copy the name of the file, copy the table name, paste it here. Select one from this table, and then after we select it, we select one, where we're gonna have a where clause, where the name of the file, the name of the column, this name, where first name equal to the variable name. We're gonna have open and then for file name, we're just gonna close parentheses, and now we're gonna begin the transaction. Begin, select one as, we're just gonna have like a name. We're just gonna have like a name of like a file, just a file. We're gonna call it file already exists. File already exists here. And then what? We're gonna end the transaction. We're gonna begin else. What about else? If you don't find, if we didn't match the file name, we're gonna select one. If the file name variable matches the file name. What about if it's not? If the file is new, we didn't load it. Else, we're gonna begin, and then we're gonna select 0. That's meaning we didn't have the file name inside the table. As we're just gonna have like a file name here. We're gonna call it already a new file. We're just gonna call it new file. A new file. That's a new file, and then we're gonna end it. Now let's just execute this statement. Executed. It's shown as a 0 because the file name is not existed in the file. The name of the file is not existed in this table yet, in this column yet. Show as 0. Let's just test it. Let's do insert here into DBO. That's the existing files, and then we're just gonna have we're just gonna insert this name here. Close parentheses. So far we don't have nothing in this table. Let's just insert it. Let's see what happened. Sorry, we have to type the values here. So that's going to be the value. We're not going to enter the ID because this is going to be automatic. So insert, one row affected, select the table. So we have this name is already inserted. Let's just go back and execute this statement here again. We're supposed to return 1. See that file already exists, returns 1. That's mean the file, it's already existed in this table. If it's not, gonna give us a 0. Let's just truncate it. Truncate the table DBO. Select it, we don't have, and then again select this statement, should return us 0, 0. So now we're gonna copy this script, the whole script, copy from the declare to the end, and then go back to SSIS SQL to Visual Studio, and then double click on execute SQL task. And then for a database, because I'm using SQL Server database, and then I'm gonna get that's only DB, and then for the connection you need to select the proper database. So I have my table, this table, and also this table. It's saved inside SSIS test database. Back again, select the proper database. I have already exited, just deleted, just create a new one. I'm going to show you how to create a new one. You need to get the server name. Back again, you can just click on connect database server, copy, or you can just select it from here. Select it from the query, server name here. Copy the server name, back again, paste it, and then we're gonna select the proper database. We have SSI test database, test connection, text connection succeeded. Click OK, click OK. Okay, now the direct inputs. We're gonna use the direct input. We're gonna build the expression. Go back to expressions here, and then click on the expression, the little dots here. And then you're gonna select on property. We're gonna select SQL statement source, not the type, just the source. Click on the expression, click OK, and then we're gonna paste it here. Sorry, we're gonna paste the statement here. We're gonna paste this script here. But I don't want to hard code the name. This is we have multiple names here. I don't want to hard code it. So I'm gonna have a file name. I'm gonna have a file name and variable, and I don't have the file name yet. So I'll go back again, cancel the whole things, and now since I want to loop through all the files, I'm gonna use a for each loop containers, right? Because I'm not gonna use the for loop. I don't know how many times. So I'm going to use a for each loop container, and if you try to configure it, we need to have the expression, the directory. We don't have a directory yet, so we're going to create a new directory. Right click variables, and then we're going to create a new directory. We're going to call it a file path here, and then for the data type will be string here, and then go back and copy the file path and paste it in the value section. So we have the file path set here, and then what are you gonna do? Double click on for each loop container, and then connection. We are using the for each file enumerator, and then for the expression property, and then set the connection string, the directory, and then for the expression we're gonna build a file. We're gonna drag and drop the file path here. Click OK. So now what do you want to load? Everything? Well, obviously we're not gonna have, since we have multiple files, so we're gonna have a flat file source to get the TXT and the CSV file, but we cannot use the flat file source to get the Excel file. We cannot do that. So we're gonna build another. We're gonna have another for each loop, and another. We're gonna have another for each loop to get the Excel file. So far we're just gonna get. Let's just get everything here. Everything. This is gonna be the CSV file and the text file and the Excel file, but the Excel we're not gonna load. And we're just gonna automatically it's not gonna load because of the source problem. So we're gonna get the text and the CSV. Let's just keep this everything. We need to have the name and extension. Why? We don't need the full qualified. We need the name and extension because the name of the file and the extension will go and insert inside this table. We don't want to have full qualified, which is a full qualified meaning a file path and the file name. We need only the file name and extension. Back again, name and extension. Now we need to save the file. Since we selected name and extension, we need to save the file name and extension somewhere. Click on variables, and then we're gonna create a new variable. We're gonna call it a file name. This file name is gonna be for a flat file. We're just gonna call it a file name flat file only. The data type will be string here. Click OK. Now we all set for a data for a container. So back again here, try to connect it, and then double click. We have to go back to the connection, and then copy this the script, the whole script here. Back again, connection, expression, and then set SQL statement. Source, expression, back again, double click here. We have now a file name. We have a file name here. See that? So now in the expression, just paste the whole script. What do you have to do here? Before declare, we have to have a double quote, and then at the end we need to have another double quote, and between what it says double quote, a single quote, customer USA TXT, just remove it. And then what do we have to do here? We're gonna have a single quote. Remember, single quote, and then a double quote, and then plus. Single quote, double quote, and a plus, and then drag and drop the file name, flat file, the file name, and then we're gonna have another plus. It's going to be a double quote and then another single quote. Let me show you what happened here. Did you see that? So let me show you this section here. Back again here. So what I did, I add beyond the single quote, I added the double quote. And then I added plus, and then the variable name we just created in for each loop. And at the end, I added plus, double quote, and then another single quote. And also I added a double quote here and another double quote here. Go back again and look at the after we evaluate it. Look how it looks like. See that? You see that? We have a single quote. So now, back again here, we're done with this section. Click OK. Click OK. And then back again to the general. So we have to set the connection again, sorry. So now, for the result set, since we built that expressions, here. So this expressions will return us either 1 or 0. You remember? 1 or 0. This statement will return us 0 or 1. See that? We're gonna have a 0 or 1. 0 or 1. Either just one of them. So this is gonna be a single column with single row, and this is gonna be an integer. Single column and single row. So back again here, general, and then on the result set we're gonna set the result set on single row only. That's the single row, and then you're gonna save that single row somewhere. Go to result set, gonna create a new result set, and then the result set, the name will be 0. This is gonna be 0. We have only one result set. We don't have multiple result set. If you have multiple, it will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first result set will be 0. And then for the file name for result set, we're gonna save it somewhere. We're gonna create a new variable because this is gonna be integer single. A single row and single row, single row and single columns. And we're gonna create a new variable. We're gonna call it let's say we're gonna call it the final result. Let's say result. So final result. And then for the data type, you can have an integer 16, 32. I'm just gonna have a 16 because I'm gonna have only two numbers. I have 1, 0, and 1. This is not gonna do anything for the value. You can type any number you want because it's gonna be overwritten. So click OK, and then click OK. So now, what do we have to do here? In this section now, for the execute task, sorry, we have to bring it inside. The execute SQL task, we set everything now. We configure it with the for each loop. Now we're gonna drag and drop the data flow task here. That's a data flow task here. So the data flow task, we're gonna build expression again on the precedent constraint. It's just gonna connect it. This is gonna be in a data flow task. We're gonna call it a new load new files here. So any new files, we're gonna build some expressions here. So now what do you have to do here? Just get the go to variable and then just copy the name of the final result, and then back again here, double click on the present constraint, and then the evaluation operation, change it to the expression and constraint. Here we're gonna build here expression. So if the final result set equal to 0, that's mean, what does 0 mean? We said the 0, that's mean the file is a new file, is not existed. If this is true, sorry, if this is gonna be a true, so this is because this is a variable. We need to have it added at the first add. So it's true now. But look, if the final result return as 0, that's mean it's a new file. If return as 1, that's mean it's already existed. So now, if the file is not existed, is new, go to load it. And if it's not new, it's already existed, we're gonna move it. We're gonna move the file to somewhere else. How are we gonna move it? Let's go back again. We're gonna create a new folders here. I'm gonna call it already loaded files. Already loaded files. Double click, just copy the path here, and then back again. We're just gonna create a new variable. I don't want to have I don't want to have hard code. Just create a new variable in case if you change the file path, you can just change it, copy it, and paste it here. So we're gonna call it the same name already. Loaded files, and then the data type will be string, and then we're gonna copy the path here. So we have already loaded files, we know that. So how we're gonna move the file? We're gonna drag. We're gonna use file system task here. File system task here. If the file already exists, double click on present constraint here, and then change it to the expression constraint. Now we're just gonna bring down the final result here. That's the variable. If the file result set equal to 1, that's when it's already existed. If it already existed, we're gonna move it. We're gonna move the file here. Let's just go back again to the present constraint here. Make sure I don't have a problem with the syntax. Let's just rewrite again. So I'm just gonna drag and drop and then equal to 0. Alright. So now if the file new, we're gonna load it. If it existed, we're gonna move it. How we're gonna move it? Double click on file system task here. So now we need to get everything variable. So I don't want to hard code it, but we're gonna get a variable. We need to have a file full path for the variable and the file full path for the rejected folder. The folder already loaded. We need to move it. So as we said, so how we're gonna do that? Back again, because we need to have the file full path. The file full path meaning the file name plus the extension. It is also the source variable. We have the source variable here. Go back again. Variables. That's the file path. That's for the all file path. That's the path of all files here. See that? That's the path of all the files here. So I'll go back again, and then if you double click on the file system task, so we have to have a file full path here. File name plus the file path plus the file name. Back to a variable, we're gonna create a file path which is gonna be contains of the file path plus the file name. So we're gonna create a variable. We're gonna call it a full file path. Full file path. That's gonna be for the flat file, just in case if you are confusing flat file, because we're gonna have one for the Excel. So full file path for the flat file. The data type will be string. We have a combination between the file path plus the file name. On the expression, drag and drop the file path plus double quote backslash double quote plus drag and drop the file name for the flat file name here. Click OK. So now we have a file full path. So back again, double click on file system task, and then is the source path variable? Yes. And then for this we have to navigate to the file full path flat file. What do you want to do? We don't want to copy, we want to move the file. We need to move the file to where? This is the existed file. Where do you want to move it? We want to move it here. Already loaded files we have, and we already have the file path. If you go back again, and then is the destination path variable? Yes. Select it. Remember we created the file full path, the file path for already loaded files. Click and overwrite destination. If you have already existed files here, you want to overwrite it. Says now we don't have it, just in case. So we're gonna move the file full path for a source, and then for the destination, not the file full path, only the name of the file path only. See that there is a difference between a file full path, meaning a file path plus the file name. The destination is only the file path, not the name. If you wanna rename and move, so rename file will do two tasks. Is gonna rename the file and then move it. At that time you need to have a file path, which is a file name, and you want to add the datetime and plus the already loaded file path here. But we're not interested, we are only moving the file now. Click OK. So we set this. Now what's gonna happen? It's not gonna, nothing will be happening because the data flow task is empty. We have to, since we have a flat file source, so we go back, we're gonna drag and drop flat file source here, and then I'm gonna drag and drop the data conversion. I'm gonna tell you why, and then destination also, and try to connect all of them. Double click on flat file source, and then you're gonna navigate, click on a new. We don't have a new connection. This is gonna be a flat file. You can just leave it empty. You can just leave it. You don't have to name it. Browse. You need to browse to the destination, to to the source folder. So we have the source folders in this files here. You see that it gives us. If you go to select, this is not gonna do anything. This is not gonna do anything. It's not gonna affect anything. Just select any file. Let's just select like a text file or CSV file, because we're gonna have a different for each loop for the Excel file. Click open. The column names in the first row, yes. If you click on any of the file, yes, we have the column names. It's in the first row. Back again. Format is delimited. Columns, and then advanced. I'm not gonna change the data type from here. Click OK. Return nulls value if you have null. If you have empty. If you have, for example, the state is you don't have yours, you have empty space, will return as a null instead of have empty space. So back again, columns, everything is mapped, click OK. For the data type, we're going to convert the data type because the data type comes from the source file, is different than the destination. If you go back to destination, to my table here, you got customers, columns, you see that I got ID integer, varchar non-unicode 100 length, last name varchar 100 for the length, and the character non-unicode also string 2, and that's different than the source folder. So double click on data conversion, you're going to select all of them. We're just going to select for the ID will be integer. I'm going to choose a 4-byte sign integer, and we are okay here, but you just need to change the length here, 100, another 100, and then 2. We're going to have new names now. So that's the name comes from the source file. Now we have a new output alias will be a new name. That's the name of the data after being converted. Copy first name, last name, and state, and last name and state. So and then destination. Double click on the destination. I already have. Remember, I create the connection here. So I have the same connection. I'm going to use the same connection. And then we're just going to select the table, but this time I'm going to select the table. This time I'm not going to select this table. I'm not selecting this table. That's table just to save the file name. I'm going to select that table for rows for the data. ID, first name, last name, and state. So that's customers table. Back again, we selected mappings. We have to remap again to the new output alias. Copy first name, copy last name. First name, last name, and state. Click OK. We're all done now. But now, what's gonna happen, guys? So if you just, what's gonna happen here? If we select, okay, so if we're gonna execute the package now, what's gonna happen? The package is gonna keep looping. It's gonna try to find if the file. If the name of the file it's already existed here or not. If it's not, we're gonna load it to this table, and then if it's already existed, let's say it's already existed, what's gonna happen? The file is gonna move to the already loaded folders, but we need to insert the name of the files. That's the name of the files. That's, if you go back again, you want to insert all the name of the files to where? We want to save the name of the files where? To this table. So how we're gonna do that? We're gonna have another insert statement here. because go back again, we're gonna drag and drop another execute task here. Execute task here is gonna help us to insert the data, to insert the name of the files back to the table, to this table. So how we're gonna do that? So just connect it, and then back again here, we're gonna do some insert statements here. So we want to insert inside what? Inside this table. Sorry. So we're gonna do insert statement. Insert into what? We need to insert into this table here. So now insert into this statement, and then we're gonna insert inside the file name. So we need to get, we're not worried about the ID, this is gonna be automatically inserted. So we're gonna have the values. The values will be a question mark. Why question mark? Because I'm not gonna hard code it. We're not hard coded here. We are gonna keep looping, get the name from the files, and then insert it inside this table, inside the file name. See that? Let me show you inside the file name here. So I'm gonna try to remap. So question mark, copy this statement, and then back again, double click on execute task, and then we're gonna get the connection. We are using the same connection, SSIS test database, and then here in the SQL statement we're gonna paste it. But we're gonna map. I'm gonna map. Okay, so sorry. Select insert. Okay, so let me just get the name here. Let me insert the name. So insert into what? Just in case if the system got confused. So I'm gonna insert the file name. Just the file name here. I'll insert the file name here. The file name, and the value will be 0. You see that here? So now paste it. We have, so we're gonna put the file names, and now we're gonna map the question mark to the file names here. Click OK, and then you go to parameters. We got nothing to do. Okay, so parameters, and then we're gonna add the new parameter. So the parameter we're gonna get, how we're gonna get the name from? So the question mark will get from here, will get inserted from the file name flat file. So the now file name flat files, because we have variables, gonna loop through all the files, get the file name and extension, and then it's gonna get inserted inside the question mark. The question mark, we just set it here. See that, the question mark here. So back again, and then for the data type will be a varchar, and then for the parameter we're gonna have a parameter 0 here, because if you have multiple parameters you're gonna have 0, 1, 2, 3. We have only one parameter. Click OK. We done now. We're gonna run the package. What's gonna happen? The package is gonna try to evaluate is the file existed. If it's not existed, go this way, gonna load it. If the file existed, which is gonna give us 1, value of 1, that's mean the file name of the file is already existed in this table. What's gonna happen? It's gonna move the file. Move the file where? Move it to the already loaded files, and then we're gonna insert the file names. And after what? After that, what? Yeah, let's just run the package and make sure you don't have data here. Just gonna remove all those here, just if you can get confusing. So we're gonna select the table also, this table. We don't have nothing, no data here. We're gonna run the package and see what happened. Execute the package. Okay, I forgot to set the connection string for a file connection, because you're gonna keep looping on the same file. You see that all the file is not existed, is not existed now. So the package has been executed successfully. Stop the package, back again. If you select it, see guys here, let me show you. So we select all the files here, but you see that, remember I told you we're gonna loop through one file. We're gonna keep looping only on one file, 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 truncated, because we have to set the connection string. Back again here, you see the flat file connection string, right click, properties, and then expression, and then get connection string, and then drag and drop. So this is going to be the file path plus the file name. Since we can build it from here, we can have a file path plus the file path plus the file name, but we already have it here, full path for the file name, so we don't have to build it. So this is okay. Click OK, click OK. We done now. Now let's just go back again before we execute the package, see what's going on, because since we already inserted, so the file is already loaded. So let me just show you here. Back again, select the table. See that the file names has been inserted, and also it's not only the file name has been inserted, the Excel file name has been inserted too, but we didn't load the data from the Excel file, and that's why I said you need to have a different for each loop container for Excel file, for the Excel file here, and also you need to change the file path here. You need to have a different file path here. Like for example, you're going to create, this is going to be like Excel file, Excel files, let's say Excel files here. So you move the Excel files from here, back again. So we have Excel files here. We don't have the Excel file in this section anymore. The Excel file is going to be different folders now. So back again here. So what's going to happen? We know why, because if you double click now for each loop, we set the collection files load everything meaning CSV text file and Excel file. And if I'm going to type only TXT, I'm going to get only the TXT. If I'm going to load only the CSV, I'm going to get all the CSV. There is no, you see that? You cannot load only the TXT and the CSV only. All of them are a single, what they call it, single extension. So we have the asterisk here, but since we want to select everything in this table only, that's why I moved the files, the Excel file, to a different folder. So now if you go back again, what do we have to do? We're just going to truncate the table here. Let's say we didn't load nothing here. Table is empty. Truncate the table again. Customer, we don't have. So you have customer tables is empty, and the file names is empty also. Let's just go back again. What's going to happen? Delete this. So this is not working so far because nothing has existed. Run the package again, and look what happened. So it didn't go to file system per task because there's none of the files is all new, not existed. It's not existed. It's new. So stop the package, go back again, select the table. See that we load all the rows. We got US, and this comes from the CSV file. That's US and CSV files here. That's CSV files and the US file. And for the table, see that the table we saved only the TXT and the CSV files only. Let's see what happened here. Since I have all these files that already existed, what's gonna happen if you run the package again? You're not gonna load it. What's gonna happen? The file will move from this folder to this folder, and we're not gonna load anything. Go back again. If you select it, see that we have all 12 rows. We're not gonna load anything. Back again, and then execute the package. Look what's gonna happen. You see that? the files is already existed here. It's evaluated to 1. It's not a new, it's existed. So so the file should be moved now. Back again, see the file has been moved to already loaded files here. You see that? Now let's go back and set another for each loop for Excel file now. Guys, if you want to do that, we're gonna start over again. So I'm just gonna do this so fast right now, because you guys know exactly what I did. So back again, just gonna copy this and paste it. Paste the connection. Okay, so we have here now. We selected. Everything is good now. We got nothing to do with those. Everything has been saved now. Click OK. What do we have to do in this debug for each loop? We just need to change the collection to CSV file to Excel SLXX. That's the Excel file, and then that shows full qualifiers. Okay, so since we have a new for each containers now, we can use this. We're gonna use a different directory because the directory has been changed now. The directory has been changed for the Excel file. Let's just copy and paste. We're gonna create a new variable here. I'm gonna do this so fast. Create a new variable. We're gonna call it Excel. We're gonna call it the file path. For what? For Excel. And then we're gonna set this to string. Paste it. And then also I'm gonna move the files. Also, I'm gonna need the destination. So back again, I want to have a destination for a Excel file. I'm gonna have a new folder here. I'm gonna call it already. Let's say exists Excel. And so this is gonna be a files here. We're gonna copy the path here. We're gonna create a new variable. We're gonna call it sorry, I'm just gonna rename this to Excel loaded files. This is when you have already loaded. Back again, and then we're gonna copy and paste. Sorry. So this is gonna be a file. This is gonna be Excel loaded file path. This is loaded file path. Which is gonna be a destination. This, if you're confusing. So I'm gonna get the value to string here, copy it. We done now. Now also we're gonna copy and paste. We're gonna have another for file system task. We need to have a file full path, but for Excel file. Back again here, we're gonna build file full path for Excel. So it's gonna be the file path plus the file name. We don't have a file name yet. So what are we gonna do? Double click on for each loop container and then collection, and then we're just gonna get the directory. We're gonna point the directory to the file path of the Excel. The file path for Excel here. See that? And then we want to load only Excel SLXX. We need to get the name of the extension only. We need to save the name extension somewhere. We're gonna create a new variable. We're gonna call it file name, and this is gonna be for Excel. It's gonna be for Excel. Okay, click OK. So we done now. What's gonna happen? We're gonna drag and drop. This is we done with those. We got nothing to do. We're gonna drag and drop the Airflow task and also the file system task. We're going to build another file system task, and also we're going to have another Airflow task because we want to have the name of the Excel files to go to this table. Also connect all of them. So we're gonna configure the Airflow. Okay, let's start with this. We're just gonna copy the same expression here, exactly the same expression. Final result equal to 0. If the Excel file is already exist, 0, and here is gonna be from 1. If the file it's already exists, we're gonna move it, change 0 to 1. We're gonna move it. So now we're gonna go. Sorry, this is gonna be the. I got this the Airflow task, which is not supposed to be. Execute SQL task here. All right, right here. Double click on the Airflow task. We're gonna get the Excel source. We're gonna convert the data, and then we're gonna get all the DB destination. Connect all of them. Double click on Excel file source, and then we're gonna create a new one. We're gonna navigate to the new one. Where is the new one? The new one, we saved it in Excel files here. Just choose on one of them. Select one of them. The first row has a columns. Yes, we have. We're gonna select the proper sheet. We have only one sheet. We don't have multiple sheet. Columns. Everything is mapped. Click OK. We're gonna convert the data. You see that this is give us a float. We need to have a integer. I'm gonna have a 4 by sign integer. See that the 9 Unicode. We need to change it to the string. 9 Unicode. This is Unicode string. We need to have a 9 Unicode. 9 Unicode, because if you go back again, I said this is 9 Unicode, 9 Unicode, 9 Unicode. So for the length, we're gonna have 100 here, and then another 100, and then here I have 2, and then we're gonna have a new name, output alias. Click OK, and then double click on connection. We're just gonna point the same file. We need to have on the same files here. Customize claim mappings. We need to get the file name here, or the first name here, and then the last name here. And I want to get the state. Get the state somewhere. Just gonna maximum this. That's the state. You got first name, ID, first name, last name, and state. Click OK now. So now we set everything. Everything is OK now. Go back again to control flow. So now we have to set. Configure the file system task. File system task, because it's gonna be, we're gonna have a different. So yes, the source variable, yes, this is gonna be for the Excel file. We don't have a file full path for the Excel file. We have only file full path for the flat file. We're gonna build it. So back again, right click, variable. We're gonna have a file full path. It's gonna be the file path of the Excel plus the file name of the Excel. We're just gonna create, we're gonna call it file full path, but this is gonna be Excel, so you're not gonna get confused between the Excel and the file and then the data type will be string, and then we're gonna build it. We're gonna have the file path of the Excel plus we're gonna have a double quote // double quote plus the file name for Excel file name. So you got the file path for the Excel plus the file name for the Excel. Click OK. Sorry, there is something missing. Oh, so we have to add plus here. Add plus. Evaluated. Is everything is OK now? So let's go back again. Configure the file system task. The file system tag variable, yes, and then we're going to select it. The file full path. The file full path right here for Excel. File full path Excel here, and then we're gonna move it. We're not gonna copy it. You're gonna move it. Where do you want to move it? Destination variable, yes. We're gonna move it to the already loaded. We're supposed to have a file. You see that Excel loaded file path destination that we just created. That's the destination for the Excel file. I already created in variables. We go back again, Excel loaded file destination, that's the file path here. So double click here, that's the destination. You don't have to have a full file path, just the destination name. Overwrite destination, we don't have existed, so everything's good. Move. Click OK. Now what's gonna happen? We're gonna set. We want to move the files here. So we want to not move the file. Sorry, we need to insert the name of the Excel files and the extensions inside the table here. So we're gonna do the same way here. We're just gonna double click on the execute task now, and then we're gonna do exactly the same, but we're gonna change the parameter will be a different name. Double click here, and then we're gonna get the same connection. We got nothing to do with the result set. Now paste, insert into existing file, that's the file name. We're gonna point the question mark to the file name. So how we're gonna get the file name? We're gonna get the file name from the for each loop for the Excel we just created. Parameter mappings, click add, and then we're gonna look for the file name for Excel. File name Excel, and then the data type will be string, will be varchar, and also the parameter name will be 0. If you have a different, will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Click OK. So we all done now. If the file comes from the, okay, so now we have to get something on the Excel connection manager. Right click, properties, and then expression, and then go to the connection string. Sorry, you're gonna go to Excel file path, and then the expression, we're gonna build the file full path. We already have the file full path here for Excel. File full path Excel. We're not gonna build it. File path plus the file name. We already have it here. Okay, click OK, click OK. So we're gonna have a problem with that. Data will convert the data validation. You have to set the data validation to true. You see that? The yellow triangle, if you see that. So back again, right click, delay validation to true, and then back again here, right click on the airflow task and set the delay validation to true. So now I don't want to load, I don't want to execute both of the containers at the same time. I want to load this one first and then the second one. I'm just going to connect it. So I want to execute this container first and then the second container. Now go back again. This is empty. This is empty. Go back again, run execute the package and see what happened. You see that we have a problem. You see that the problem was with there is something wrong with the data flow tag. That's why I did not load the data. Why? We're gonna go and discover it and see what's going on. Why didn't it load the data? If you go back to progress, you see that we have a confliction between the file name here, because if you go back here, if you double click on the data flow task, no, sorry, not the data flow task. If you double click on the execute SQL task, we build this expression, and then we set the file name. We set the file name to what? Let's go back to expression here. You see that we point the file name of the flat file to the file name flat file. We need to change this for the source folder for the Excel. So what do we have to do now? Stop the package, and then back again to execute SQL task, expression, and then back again here. Just gonna maximize it, and then we're just gonna remove. We're gonna change the file name flat file. This is supposed to be Excel, not the flat file. So we're gonna remove this section. We're gonna have a file name Excel. Here you go. File name Excel files now. If you go back again, see that we are okay now. File name. See that we just changed our name here. We just changed the variable from the file name flat file to the Excel flat file, because now we are dealing with this is the Excel container, not the flat file container. Let's just don't run it because we already have supposed to have a data here. We're just gonna truncate it again, truncate everything. So we don't have data here, no data here. Let's go back if the files has been moved. See that the file's been moved. So back again. Go back again to the USA. Make sure nothing moved. So back again here. So let's go and look what's gonna happen now. If you execute the package, run the package. Did you see that? The package has been successfully executed. It's all new. Evaluated. The file is new. Load it and then insert the file name inside the table. The same way here. We don't have because the file is not loaded. So now if you go back again, select it. See that? We have 18 roses here. We have 18 roses. If you even go to the select, we have all the file names. We have the text and the Excel file. If you want to check the Excel file here, let's go back again to the Excel and then open it. We have for the Excel 11, 22, 33, 77, 88, 99. You see that? 11, 22, 33, 77, 88, 99. That's for the Excel files. And the rest of it is for so now, since the file is already existed, if we run the package again, everything will be moved. Everything will be moved to this folder here, loaded folders. The same thing with Excel here. And so now what's gonna happen? We're gonna do some kind of test here. Go to the customer's ID. We're just gonna copy and paste one file only. So this is gonna be a new name. That's a new name. We're just gonna change the ID. Let's say ID 23 4 6. That's a new ID. Let's say this is a new ID here. Alright, and the same way for the Excel. Copy the Excel. We're gonna change the ID also here. 44 555 666. So now what's gonna happen? If you run the package again, the two files will move to the loaded. We're not gonna load the data. We're gonna load the data only from the AJ. See that? And the same way for the USA. The new file will be loaded. Those files not gonna be loaded. This file is gonna move to the already loaded. Let's run the package again and look what's gonna happen. You see that? We loaded only one file, and for all the files has been moved. Go back again. You see that? We moved. This is already existed, and that is not existed. That's new. The same thing with the Excel file. That's already existed. That's a new file. If you go back again and select the table, we have 24 rows now. Those the new file, the new rows, and those the new rows also. And for the name, we got new names here. Everything is has been those file names has existed, and we have a new name, Customer Europe. That's copy. So thank you very much, guys, and have a nice day.